what happened in the last 3 years, and what was this cultural divide between us and them, haves and have-nots, our overlord class telling us who's essential and non-essential. Something was rotten to the core, and I think you've touched on it just recently in this article that you wrote about essential versus non-essential workers.
Yeah, and really, Matt, this does get us into an area where you're right. Libertarians have been, and liberals generally, in the classical sense, have been unwilling to really confront, which I have labeled as a kind of a class issue. Which that term by itself is something that we just recoil about, because I mean, going back to the 19th century, the people who talked about class struggle and class divisions and class interests were all the socialists and the Marxists, and they were very confused on a lot of things, postulating an inherent conflict between capital and workers. And then we, on the other hand, inherited the sort of Bastiat tradition, which, idealized, in a sense, the sort of post-feudal order of universal cooperation and the essentialness of everybody and the possibility of coordination of everybody, and so we didn't really think much about this. I think this is why the lockdowns shocked us so much. And we're now 3 years deep into this, and it's enough time for us to sort of develop, I would say, a little deeper, more sophisticated understanding of it. I mean, it starts with the realization that the public mind, as we know it these days, is largely shaped by a kind of a ruling class culture. These people that went to the high-end schools, that occupy high-end positions in media and in technology and government, and their opinions, obviously are the dominant shapers of the public culture and the public mind. Now, if you get too great a sort of distance or divergence between, what high-end thought, how it conceives of the world, and, what we call low-end, working class or the poor, or people that don't have time to hang out on Twitter and
The
Zoom,
bourgeoisie.
right? Yeah. Then, if you get too great a divergence, now that can bleed over into profound political issues, as it did during the pandemic. And I argued even from the very beginning that the pandemic response was an overclass response. It was the clean people putting the dirty people to work for them so they could stay safe from the virus, and it partially in hopes of that herd immunity would be achieved by the workers and peasants, and therefore they leave the clean people alone, right? And so you had this kind of hierarchy of infection. When the virus first came out, it's like, okay, let's do it this way. I'll stay home and stay safe, and you drive the trucks and fix 6 people in the hospital, drop groceries off at my front doorstep, make sure the lights stay on and the water works. And society, you're essential. So society, you're essential and I'm essential, right? So I'm essential because I'm smart and elite and nobody can ever take away my privileges. And you're essential because you're there to serve me. I mean, I'm the Lord, you're the serf.